Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mark and I thank you so much for coming by today, especially for this video. As you'll see in a bit, this video is very near and dear to my heart, so that's why I present it every year. I've done this for several years now, ever since I started YouTube, because this video topic is very meaningful for me. Well, right now it's October, which means it's the middle of the Inktober challenge, and I am loving this challenge as much as I have in the past few years, and I hope you're enjoying it if you're participating or even just observing the artwork being created during Inktober. I'm having a blast, and I love presenting the videos that I've done for Inktober, which hopefully are helping some people get through the challenge or giving some tips or product reviews or whatever. It's a lot of work that goes into these videos, and anybody who creates videos understands that. But one thing I don't do on this channel is I don't ask for money. I work full-time, I do freelance work on the side, I have a family and a house to run, but I never ask for money. I don't ask for money on Patreon or Ko-fi or any of the other, whatever they call those, Kickstarters or whatever. That's just not something that I have an interest in doing, and I don't want to do that. This venture of YouTube is a hobby for me, and I enjoy it. I do this because I enjoy doing it. However, I will say this year for the National Brain Tumor Walk, which I participate in every year, I'm making this video like I've done in the past, and I'm trying to raise money to help other people. This is not money that goes to me, it goes to the National Brain Tumor Society, and I am asking if you can, and if you're willing, to donate to this cause. I participate in this National Brain Tumor Walk in Boston every year. We've raised about maybe $10,000, $20,000 so far in just a few years. I'm trying to raise $2,000 this year, and it's a pretty hefty goal, but I'm asking for my viewers' help. I would love it if folks could just maybe consider, just think about maybe donating $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, whatever you can. I feel like I'm I feel like I'm on NPR or National Public Radio asking for money to support the channel. This is not to support the channel. This is actually money that goes to help fund research and fund awareness for people with brain tumors. And what I've learned over the past few years after meeting countless numbers of survivors and family members and people who have dealt with brain tumors is that every one of us will encounter someone who has experienced brain tumors in their life, whether it's a family member, a survivor, or somebody. You know, all I get from my effort with the Brain Tumor Walk and doing the foundation stuff and the fundraising stuff is I get this really neat t-shirt. Which just shows that I participated. So that's what I get out of it. But I also get an incredibly great feeling that when I was going through my struggle and my challenges with a brain tumor, I had some amazing friends, family, and strangers help and support me through that tough time. I raised a couple of $1,000s for myself to get through those tough times, and my commitment was to help pay back and just raise money for other people in the future. And that's what I'm doing. So if you support that idea, if you like the artwork you see on this channel, if you like the videos you see, please consider donating to this charity via this video. I'll put all the links down below. And I just want to share the story that I went through with you and explain why this is so important to me. And I hope maybe that it just affects you a little bit and helps you consider maybe donating to this charity. Again, $1, $2, $10, $5, whatever you can do. For me, I donate as much as I can, and my kids donate, and my family donates. So we put our money where our mouths are, and I'm just asking for your support with my participation. I know this isn't about anybody but me, but I'm trying to do this for other people. Anyway, so thank you so much for considering this and watching this video. There's a story to tell, and that's what I'm about to get into now. So I hope you enjoy this. And again, thank you so much for your time watching and the time you spend on this channel. I really hope you enjoy it, and God bless. So, like most artists, my journey began as a little kid, drawing and painting on anything I could get my hands on. In my teen years, I was exploding with creativity. I couldn't stop being creative, but I needed money to support that. So I got a job at a local mall, which was okay, but I got this other job at a steel shop as a sandblaster, blasting things like greasy I-beams and all that. I eventually went to art school in Boston. This was the Tower Building, and down the street was the Longwood Building, and it was just so awesome to be surrounded by so many creative people. My high school art teacher gave me this Iwata airbrush, which was a lot like sandblasting, just on a more detailed level, And I took that and I fully immersed in it. I loved airbrushing. I was getting published work. I was doing art projects for school. I was doing commission work. I was fully into the airbrush thing, using gouache and ink and watercolor and colored pencils and just exploring life as an airbrush illustrator full on. And I loved it, except that may have been part of my problem. So, meanwhile, after art school, I started my career. Being an illustrator was not very lucrative, so I became a graphic designer and eventually became an art director. And I was living the dream. I was living in a giant mansion. I had a yacht. I was making tons of money. I bought a fancy sports car. I was living the dream, man. That's not exactly true. I was living a very modest life, raising a family in a tiny house with a big mortgage and a little front yard that had patches of grass. I was living a modest dream, and that was good enough for me, and life was going grand. And that's when the layoffs happened. So now I'm out of work. I had to go back to freelancing, which was not very lucrative at the time, but I was still living the dream. I played in an over 35 softball league where one night I hit the ball out to right field, ran to first base, rounding second, and crunch, my knee gave out. So I had to go to the hospital. I ended up at the hospital, which ironically, the hospital bought out the school I went to, the Longwood building, which is, where I spent so many times going to art school. And the bone scan revealed that my knee was going to be okay, but they also found something up in my head, a brain tumor the size of a lime. Now, nobody knew how it got there or how it grew, but the suspicion was that maybe it was from chemicals from airbrushing or sandblasting or something, because all those toxic chemicals can just do such a number on you. And I didn't prepare. I had never thought about wearing masks or being in a well-ventilated area. I had this health hazards manual that I never even read. So here I'm not working full-time. Life is presenting some new issues, and I'm screwed. I need to think of something fast. I got to have surgery. And then I had a bright idea. I figured out a way to use my creativity and my artwork to try and get out of this mess. I needed to make sure that my family was going to be okay and that we were going to be financially secure through this surgery. So I created Limes for Life. It was a brand that I developed specifically to raise money to get me through the months of recovery that I wasn't going to be able to pay rent and do the things I needed to do. I was selling mugs and t-shirts, music, I wrote a book. I did all the things I had to do to make sure I could get enough money, again, to make sure my family was going to be okay. Well, I was surprised at what happened. The overwhelming support of my friends, my family, and even strangers to help me get through this time was just beyond anything I can ever explain. It was just truly overwhelming. More on that when we come back from this break. So Limes for Life was a huge success for me. I raised enough money to get me through the months that I'd need to recover from the brain surgery. And so in August of 2012, my parents took me into the hospital and I was prepared to have brain surgery. This was something that I had never ever predicted in my life, so I was completely terrified. The surgery took about 7-8 hours, and when it was done, the doctors told me, hey, you're great, you're in great shape. And they didn't get the whole tumor, they got about 90% of it, so we're still checking on it these days. But overall, things were going very well. My family had given me an iPad during my recovery because I couldn't be in bright rooms or watch a lot of TV. So I started drawing on the iPad, something I had never done before. So here I was using my creativity to get through this recovery. Now I'm using creativity during my recovery. And the more I used the iPad and was drawing with my finger, the better I got with it. And suddenly I started seeing a lot more potential for this iPad, which I had never seen before. That led me into the next phase of sort of, the Limes for Life brand, which was once I got back on my feet and my surgery scars had started to heal, I decided to go full force and launch a tour exhibition of my work. So I had about a dozen gallery shows all over the area. it was a huge success. I was selling artwork. I was continuing to leverage the brand of Limes for Life using my artwork to sell things, which caught the attention of the local newspapers. Now, the local newspapers published this, which attracted the attention of other brain tumor survivors. Steve and Erica became my teammates for our efforts to raise more money. We rebranded Limes for Life into 3 Fine Limes, and we started raising money in conjunction with the National Brain Tumor Society to raise money for other people, which was the entire mission I had in the first place. Unfortunately, in 2014, we lost our teammate Steve. He did not survive his brain tumors. Along with friends and family, Erica and I continue our mission to raise money and awareness to help in the fight against brain tumors that affect so many people in our world. I'm also proud to donate my time, energy, and creative skills in helping others get their charities up and running with t-shirt designs, logos, brochures, and posters, never asking for or expecting a dime in return for my efforts. Next Sunday, on October 20th, we'll be participating in our 7th walk with the National Brain Tumor Society, and I'll be celebrating 7 years as a brain tumor survivor. We're really excited as it's always an energetic and positive experience for my team and my whole family. And while I never ask my viewers for money to support my YouTube channel, because for me this is a hobby which I fully enjoy, I am reaching out and asking you to consider, with no pressure whatsoever, to donate to my team in effort to raise money for this Sunday's Brain Tumor Walk. I'll leave a link in the video description below where you can donate if you choose. 100% of the donations go directly to the National Brain Tumor Society. As always, thank you so much for watching this video today and indulging my story of how I used art to fight my brain tumor. Enjoy all your creative adventures and may good health always be yours. Thank you so much and God bless.